What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. Hey, and this is your, I need to clean my glasses. And this is your Real Housewives of Atlanta review of the last episode. So we're just going to get through this really quick. Hopefully it's okay. I took the normal amount of notes. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the diva know you stopped by so we can get through this, okay? I don't know what's I just slapped this thing on my head real quick, so we're gonna see. I slapped it on my head like Drew slaps her wigs on her head. All right. We start off with Cynthia calling everybody. Kandi is on the phone with her daughter. Kenya's on the phone with her cousin, and Portia's in the backyard saying that she can feel energy in her ass. She just takes something that is so deep and drains the water out immediately. Ralph and Drew are walking down the street. He looks like he got Drew a scooter. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't be scooting anywhere down the street with anybody who left home for 3 days and didn't tell nobody. All that happy and laughing and giggling and shit. I think maybe that was because his dad died or something like that. Maybe that's the reason why. But we ain't laughing and giggling and holding hands and running through daisies 3 or 4 or 5 weeks after you done skip town without notice. No, we're not doing that. Something about how she has the decency to let him know when she's going out of town, and he doesn't have the decency. So why are y'all skipping and hopping down the street on a scooter? Like, he didn't have the decency to tell you that he went out of town for 3 days. Anyway, she calls Kandi and invites her over to her house. She wants people to come over before she moves out. Kenya and LaToya, they go out to eat. They're ordering food. It's funny how LaToya's kind of telling Kenya, hey, you need to make sure you eat healthy. We're supposed to be eating healthy. We have a trip to go on. Kenya buys Toya bras and panties. No, she doesn't buy her bras and panties. She gives her some bras and panties that she hasn't worn, and she gives them to LaToya. LaToya sniffs the underwear. It's so funny when she calls her a sugar mama, because we know that's the word that I keep for Miss Kandi Burris, honey. Kenya talks about how they got a place in the Isle of Palms in South Carolina, and Kenya shares with us that she is going to bring her nanny along with Brooklyn. And so she also shares with LaToya that we're going to be flying private. And she was like, sugar mama. She wanted to know, like, the women, getting a jet, it would have been $50,000 the larger they were going. And Kenya's like, I'm not about to spend 50,000. If they don't like the arrangements that I made for them, she says, then they can make their own arrangements. So Drew calls her and invites her to her house as well. She asked if Toya was invited, and she's like, if she wants to come, she can. So she is invited, but she doesn't end up coming. She probably doesn't end up coming because of the way the invite went. You know what I'm saying? Toya asked for an update on Mark, and Kenya shares with us that her and Mark can't really talk, that he's unreasonable. I wrote Brooklyn as a tool to control her. That's what I wrote down here, because that's what I feel is going on. Because if you really wanted to take care of Brooklyn when Kenya was going out of town, you would have made arrangements to have Brooklyn there with you. I believe they were gone for a week or something like that. So if you really cared and you really gave a shit and you weren't using it to control Kenya and to drive her ass crazy, then she would have been able to send her daughter and not bring her daughter and her nanny with her to her trip. She says she needs permission to do anything together. And I let parents know this far and wide. When you create a liability in a partnership, it is your responsibility and the choices of each person that created that liability to make decisions regarding that liability. You both went in on it. You went in on that liability. So now you both have to make decisions regarding that liability, give permission to one to do for the other to do another thing. That's just how it goes. Now, Kenya, if you don't want Mark to say she can't do this and she can't do that, ask for full sole custody. But he's not going to do that, because you know why? Because if he did that, he wouldn't be able to control your emotions. And that's just what it is. It was funny because LaToya asked her, so how long have you been separated? And she said separated for about a year. And she was like, how long has it been toxic? And she said, I don't know. Honey, try from the very beginning. Try a man trying to sweep you off and get you married without nobody being there. Try from the very beginning, okay? So Drew has her get together. It's a Hollywood theme. Ralph is helping her decorate. Cynthia comes first. She's knocking on the door. Nobody hears her. I don't know what's wrong with their doorbell, why it doesn't work, but nobody rang the doorbell. Everybody was just knocking. Love the hair. I don't know why I said scratching her teeth. Oh, when Drew and Ralph were acting like they kind of liked each other or whatever. And he was like, "Ooh, what's your hair? What am we going to call your hair?" And then for him to be like doing this on her teeth, like scratching stuff off her teeth. Like, this shit was fake to me. I was like, whatever with your fake ass relationship. Ain't no way in the world I'll be skipping and hopping down any fucking street with a man after he done left for 3 days and didn't come back. Drew, whatever. Kandi let herself in because nobody heard her. Kandi said she liked Drew's wig. This wig that she had on, it was kind of like going up in the ponytail and then coming back down, and she had it like, you know, in each little ponytail's going down. She had that wig on, and Kandi said something. Maybe she just had a bad wig day, is what she said. Kenya arrives. Kenya has on an Adidas a dress and some sneakers. The only time we have ever seen without her working out is when she went to Kandi's baby shower. Honey, we rarely see Kenya in tennis shoes. So that was something to see. Porsha arrives. Porsha says Ralph ain't cute. This is something Porsha and I agree on. And I don't know if anyone else noticed the way that Porsha was hugging Ralph. She made sure her body was completely off of him. You saw how Kenya hugged Ralph. You saw how Kandi hugged Ralph. Now go back and watch how Porsha hugged Ralph. Go back and watch it. So they start talking about how Kandi has a favorite drink now, or found a drink that she likes thanks to Miss LaToya. They start talking about, so where is Toya, as a matter of fact? And they gestured over to Kenya. Kenya was like, I don't know where she is. Why you didn't call her? Like, that's not my day to keep her, girl. Why would I know? This is Porsha. That's good she's not here, girl, because she was talking about your wig. You know, for Porsha, being that she lacks depth, something like that, talking about someone's wig, would make her feel a certain kind of way. And for Cynthia to be like, girl, it's not that deep for you to be going back and saying, girl, she was talking about your wig and this and that. But Porsha is a shallow person. Porsha blocked me on Twitter for saying that her contour she had too much contour on. So that's where Porsha's mindset is. Anything that is probably talking about someone's outward appearance, Porsha is going to take offense to that and bring it up. It was no reason for her to bring that up. Like Cynthia said, we all have bad days. I'm sure if every last one of them then had a bad wig day. Now let me give Porsha her credit. She may not have ever had a bad wig day, because she is someone who pays very close attention to her outward appearance, so that's where you can stop. That's where it does stop. So it's what it is. In Drew's confessional, she was like, I don't even know her. She was like, I don't know why she's talking about me. I met her one time. And what does she do? And she shades her for having a YouTube channel. All I know is this: Drew Sidora, girlfriend, you better not ever make a YouTube channel like any of your co-stars, number one. And number two, like Miss LaToya. Because Kandi got a YouTube channel. Who else got a YouTube channel? LaToya got a YouTube channel. So I don't understand how you gonna shade everybody who has a job working at YouTube. There are people who work and make videos all day, and that is their job. So like somebody said in the comments, the way you shade somebody is not to include an entire group of people. You stay close to that person. So shading that girl just for having a YouTube channel, it falls flat for me. Kandi and Cynthia were there. So, I mean, you know, they were there. Kandi and Cynthia were like, girl, it's not really that serious. Like, why would you even mention that? It's not a big deal. Anyways, so Drew was like, well, look at Kenya, her hair, she shades Kenya. I was like, y'all gonna get enough of fucking with Kenya. Because when she parachutes down into your party and she brings the Grambling marching band through your motherfucking event, don't say anything. And that's what it is. Honey, Kenya said, honey, I could wear a paper bag and Drew can never. And honey, let's not even get started on the beauty department. Hello? Kenya's asking questions to Drew, like, you know, getting to know her or whatever. And Drew mentions that her mother is a preacher. So she shares with them that, you know, her and Ralph are involved in the service and they do the music. And so Drew sings Amazing Grace. I don't know why that is a song choice for people. Porsha did the same thing. Drew sounded actually okay. Drew says she's afraid to have her to go through her singing career because right now she's having issues, marital issues. And Kenya was like, girl, like she's trying to kick her under the table. She's like, well, we're not going to say anything because he's really in earshot. And girl, Kenya was like, if I could reach you under the table, I would kick you. Like, girl, your man is right there. Let's not have this conversation. So anyways, Kenya starts talking about the trip's logistics, right? And she tells everybody that they're going to meet at Kandi's house in a Sprinter. Now, mind you, earlier in the episode, when Drew called Kenya to invite her to the party, Kenya let Drew know that she was going to be taking a private jet to South Carolina. And later she tells her, don't tell any of the women because they'll be in their feelings. So Drew is already aware of this piece of information. So while they're at Drew's house and they're sitting there, Drew asks Kenya, well, okay. And she says, well, we're going to go separate. She was like, oh, you guys are going to take a different Sprinter? So you set me up because you already know how we're getting down there. So she's like, it's COVID. How are you going down there? And if you look at the shot, she's kind of smiling at Kenya.
Hi, it's COVID. How y'all getting there?
As I get to know Drew, I think that she is a bit sneaky.
And Kenya doesn't look very pleased. So I feel like if she was doing something, we don't know what she was doing. We don't know if she's planning something in advance. We don't know what she's doing. But for her to kind of push her into saying how she was getting down there is kind of shady to me. It is very shady to me. But she lets everybody know that she is going to be taking a PJ down to South Carolina. And she was like, well, Porsha gave me the idea. And then Kandi goes, you so rich. Shamia's coming as well. And Tanya is coming as well. And Kenya says, I'm sure anyone would understand that I'm doing what's best for my family. So Porsha's arranging childcare, talking about Dennis is just daddy daycare and he's going to be doing all of this. Then Kandi and Todd are sitting there. Kandi is packing. Kandi's like, well, I might be able to get my fat ass in this, baby. I hollered. And then Todd is lying to Kandi, telling her she's Megan Thee Stallion thick. He says that we're going to have a party, a bachelor party for Mike. We gonna have strippers. We gonna be at all the strip clubs. We gonna strip, club, hop, and we gonna have strippers coming in on zip lines. She was like, okay, that's what we gonna do for Cynthia. Todd was like, I don't care what y'all do. But he gave the idea. He was like, we did so much shit with the dungeon. Call somebody. I'm sure you guys know some strippers down there in South Carolina. Give Cynthia some strippers. So they're at Kenya's house, and Kenya is talking about traveling with Brooklyn and how she has never left Brooklyn alone with anybody. Okay. She's never left Brooklyn alone with even her father. And so she's bringing Brooklyn with her, and she's bringing the nanny. Now, Kenya said that the nanny and Brooklyn are going to be in another part of the house or in the area that they're in. So she's going to be separate from them. So Kenya is not going to actually be preoccupied with her children. Now, we'll get to the next part later. So once Kenya gets in the car with LaToya, she was like, girl, what have you been stirring up? Like, what is going on? And she was like, why? What happened? She was like, because Porsha was really talking about how you was going in on Drew's wig. And she was like, girl, Porsha is so extra. And exactly. I'm glad LaToya said that Porsha is so extra because Porsha is so extra and LaToya is so extra. And I bet $1 million if LaToya was Porsha's friend, y'all would be going up for the girl. But because she's alive, because I'm Kenya's friend, that's why you don't want to be. Just tell me why you're not talking to me, Nene. Because I'm Kenya's friend.
Because I'm Kenya's friend.
That's the problem people have with LaToya. She's so extra, just like Porsha. So they're at Kandi's house. Dennis drops off Porsha, and Shamia is there as well. Porsha thinks it's a sweet gesture that Hot Dog dropped her off at Kandi's house. And they all hug. Shamia, Porsha, and Kandi hug, say, we're going to have a good trip. And then Porsha goes, now let's kiss. Kandi says, I will never kiss Porsha again because you already know what happened after that. Tanya shows up. They get on the bus. Porsha is getting her Palo Santo. She's, getting the negative energy off the bus, honey. then you need to get off the bus. Then Marlo shows up with a hazmat suit on. That shit was so funny to me. Porsha said, Marlo is giving us pandemic realness at the end of the world, bitch. When she said that, I hollered. I hollered. It was funny to me. I don't know if anybody noticed while they're on the bus that Tanya keeps making these comments that no one is laughing at. She's super duper corny. We don't need Tanya there anymore. Tanya's not giving us what we need anymore. I remember I first liked Tanya when she first came on the show. She seemed like she was good energy, but now it's like, I don't know, you're saying, well, now we gotta bring Clorox wipes instead of champagne. Girl, don't nobody want to hear that. You sound a mess. AC wasn't working in the bus. Kandi asked about Dennis. Now, I want to know what's the difference between Kandi asking about Dennis and Porsha's antics, and what's the difference between Kenya asking. Because y'all was upset last week that Kenya asked and made those jokes about when the Henny gets in Porsha's system, how she feels energy in her ass. Yes, for Dennis. So I want to know what's the difference between Kandi asking and Kenya. The only difference is Porsha doesn't like Kenya. That's really the only difference. And that's why she has a problem with it, because Kandi said it in her interview and on the bus. So everybody is in Porsha's face asking like, girl, what's up? What's up with you and Dennis? She was like, well, we're working on co-parenting, and he was really devastated by the breakup because he was mad at me because I applied consequences to his bad behavior. And he was upset about that. And Miss Tanya says, oh my God, he's actually doing the work. I mean, like, that's major, Porsha. Porsha's like, girl, that worked on your delusional ass, but it didn't work on me. Sorry. I've already told y'all about Tanya and how she encourages Porsha. The only reason why she does that because Dennis and Paul do they dirt together. So girl, you're going to be miserable with me because both of our men cheat on us together. They go out together and cheat on us. So anything related to Dennis, she's so powerful, and she's just so like, she's just such a hero. You know. That's what Tanya gives you. Tanya gives you like, girl, I'm going to push you into this bad relationship so you could be miserable like me. Complaining about the heat. They kept complaining about the heat. They start asking about threesomes. Then Tanya asked Kandi, does she make the girls sign NDAs? I'm just going to be honest with you. I really don't think that Kandi and Todd are really taking down Atlanta like the people want us to believe. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. And if they are, it's people really to say like, oh my God, I fucked Kandi and Todd. It's just what it is. They get to the house and they're going through all the rooms. Kenya and LaToya, they arrive. Marlo's room gets the most fucked up room. Marlo always gets the most fucked up room. And like Kenya said, she's lucky she's here. Because really, who is your friend on this bus? Who is your friend? Anyways, they have Brooklyn and Kenya on the other side of the room, on the other side of the house. They show the layout, and Toya, Cynthia, and Kenya are on one side and the rest of the women are together. Marlo starts to ask about Kenya, you know, her favorite. She loves her some Kenya. And Drew lets everybody know that Kenya told me not to tell anyone that she was flying. That little piece of information, I feel like Kenya set up Drew. I feel like she set her up. And for Drew to just let everybody know that Kenya told her not to tell anybody, boom, that's it. It's over with. You done ripped your drawers and your wig with me, Miss Drew Zadora. Marlo says, oh, Brooklyn, she riding better than us. You jealous of a little baby? Why don't you get one of your rich men, one of your sugar daddies to fly you and your girls? Right? Because I've been watching Bling Empire and House of Ho, and it would be a private jet for everybody would be flying. It would be no complaining. It would be no hot air conditioner. Nobody complaining. Wouldn't be nobody in the middle of summer with a white Gucci sweatsuit on in the middle of the summer going to South motherfucking Carolina. Wouldn't be none of that. Okay? So now the girls are complaining. They're upset. Now this is where I agree. We had the same incident happen on Potomac. If it was okay for the women to bring the children, if you were going to bring your children, your child, you should have let everybody know that I'm bringing Brooklyn. And why you're bringing Brooklyn, if you guys want to bring your kids, you can. Let me tell you something. Miss Thoughtlandia was not going to bring PJ. Miss Freak of the League Dungeon in the Basement was not going to bring Ace and Blaze. So y'all really don't have nothing to complain about or be mad about because y'all wasn't going to bring your kids in the first place. Yes, would you like to have known it was an option? I'll give you that. The way that y'all turned up at this in South Carolina, PJ, Ace, and Blaze wasn't welcome, and Brooklyn is on the other side of the damn property. What are you going to do? So the girls are mad. But I do believe that she should have told them about the kid because we did the same thing. Monique should have let Wendy know that Ashley was going to bring her kid. And she gave Ashley permission so she would have been able to. It's the same exact thing. And the rule still applies. Do you see how that works? All right, y'all. Take care of each other and protect your energy. Peace.